Today, we're going to talk about how using positive confrontation creates the space for excellent and timely delivery inside of your organization. And I'm going to share the lessons that I've learned around this and why I made it a point and realized it was very important to include these in our guiding principles that we use here at Business Marketing Engine. So stay tuned, and I'm going to share some of the lessons that I've learned around this. So as we work our way through our guiding principles, we're talking about number 8 and number 9 today, number 10 and number 11 tomorrow. And then next week, we'll go through the rest of our guiding principles. And I decided to share these because I think it's important for everyone to understand, both inside an organization and outside, those who partner with an organization, whether as clients or vendors. It's important to understand, who you are, what you believe, why you make those decisions, because what works inside of your organization is not going to be exactly the same as mine. While some of the pieces of the principles or some of the leadership, principles and some of just life principles, of course, are definitely more universal laws of life, how you apply them and how you communicate them is going to be unique to you. And if you don't take time to clearly spell these out and document them, then your team is going to feel unsafe. Your clients are going to be unsure, and there's going to be no standard of excellence. There's going to be no standard of what to do and when. So going through this process of creating these and sharing them with my team really moved the needle. It increased revenue, it increased profits, and it also helped me show up more effectively and with more of a servant's heart for our clients as well, because there's plenty of times where I feel like I want to be reactionary. There's plenty of times where I want to not honor relationships first because I'm feeling emotional or impulsive or reactive in the moment. But when I review our guiding principles, it realigns me and it guides me back on track. And all of the entrepreneurs that I've met over the years experience those times where they're really upset or they're frustrated, they're emotional. Like, as entrepreneurs, we carry so much responsibility. We carry a lot of emotional weight. We have trauma from our own lives. We have trauma from business experiences. And if we allow just that past trauma to guide us, we can implode things very quickly. I did that way too many times, and I'm not proud of that. But if we realize, okay, that's me in a reactive state, and we change our focus and say, these are the guiding principles, this is the structure, these are my rules for life, whatever you label them as, if you use those as your guideposts and your direction, you can self-manage, you can really move into responding from a proactive state, and you can be in a position where you can overcome challenges and make those challenges incredibly valuable for yourself, for your organization, for your clients, for everyone that's associated with your organization. And so our 8th guiding principle says positive confrontation. BME is a safe place where we provide direct and respectful communication and feedback whenever there are challenges, issues, and opportunities. And related to this, I'm going to kind of talk about them both at the same time on today's episode because these are so integrated. Our 9th principle says excellent and timely delivery. We believe in doing what we say. We face our work head on and dig in. We carefully consider our commitments and client expectations before we set deadlines. We use the BME 2-person integrity method, TPI method, in order to ensure that we provide the highest level of service and excellence. And these are so closely related for a couple of reasons. One is if you're trying to accomplish something excellent and you're trying to be on time, there has to be a lot of communication. There has to be positive confrontation around things that are not on track, because if everybody is running whatever direction they want to go and they're producing assets or doing work that is not in line with the excellent work and the timely delivery that you want, then you're never going to be able to manage results, and it's going to be chaos. Recently, I had the awesome opportunity to help a friend of mine, a younger friend of mine, get their driver's license. And so they had not gotten their driver's license when they were 16, decided to do it when they were 18. And so I think it's slightly different in our state based on the ages, but they said, hey, according to, the license bureau, I need to have 24 hours of time with a licensed driver. And, I've had a few hours with some people, but I'm looking for somebody that can help me so I can make sure that I pass my driving test. And so I was grateful to be able to take them out and show them how I drive, how I, think through things as I'm driving. Generally speaking, I've been a pretty safe driver, and I've learned from the mistakes I've made of getting speeding tickets when I was younger, getting into accidents that I didn't have to get into because I was in a rush. I've made enough mistakes that I have some experience having, driven now for 20 some years. Or more, whatever it's been now. 25 years almost, because I started driving before I had my license years ago. But I've learned a lot of things. And so the first day that I took my friend out, they said, man, I'm really glad, that you're explaining everything and you're telling me when I'm making a mistake or I'm not yielding to the right person. And they said, the couple other people that, meant well and were trying to just help me get started just would sit there and let me do whatever. And so I wasn't sure what to do, or I was nervous, or I was uncertain. And so I went through the process of explaining, here's how I think about things. Here's how you should operate on the road. Here's what's legal. Here's the things you need to know about your car. And we came up to an intersection, which was a two-way stop. And there was it wasn't a highway, but it was a really busy, road in our county. And the person I was teaching, they started to go, and I said, whoa, stop. You got to stop. And so they stopped and we were safe. And I had to explain to them how four-way stop works. And for all of those that have driven for a long time here in the States, and I don't know what the rules are around the world because I've driven a little bit internationally, but here in the States, if you pull up the four-way stop, then the person on your right, if I'm remembering right, has right of way. I actually looked at the rules, but I don't remember them. But you realize, like, you just learned the method of like who has right of way, who got there first, and everything like that. I'm not a professional driver instructor. I was just helping my friend, but we went through this process, and I positively confronted them and said, that's not the right way to do it, and here's why. And they didn't make that mistake again. But if I wouldn't have confronted that they were off track and doing something dangerous, one, it could have been fatal at some point if I didn't just point out the things that were not going, right and weren't effective or weren't according to the, rules of the road, both legally and just kind of functionally that everybody follows. And then also, I wouldn't have put them in a position to pass their driving test. And so they wouldn't have excellent results and they wouldn't have a timely result. And so as we think about how we need to positively confront people, it's about serving them. And even though it's uncomfortable to confront things, we can do it from a place of service. And I have to positively confront things all the time in my personal life with friends and family and loved ones, at work, with clients. I have to bring up and say, I'm bringing this up because I want to serve and help you. And here's the concern that I have. And I always do that with the frame of our first guiding principle of relationships first. I want to honor that relationship. I want to serve them. And I really always, my intention is to center myself before I have that conversation, make sure I'm coming from that place in my heart where I truly want to serve and help them, because then it's a positive confrontation. What so many of us have experienced, and many times I have done this wrong in the past, it's something I continue to work to improve and do better on. So many of us have been in a position where we just react. We confront things, or we get mad, or we're angry, or like, you can't do that, or that was stupid, or I can't believe you did that. There's nothing positive about that. And it's from a place of reaction. It's not from a place of trying to serve that person. So you can't move them forward toward excellent and timely delivery. But if you set in your heart and your intention is to be positive in the confrontation, serve them at the highest level, express with candid, honesty, but with kindness, here's where I feel like things are off track. That's how you realign teams. That's how you challenge people in a healthy way and give them the opportunity to grow and change. It's totally going to be their responsibility. Just like with my friend, I said, here's the way I would recommend you drive. This will help you pass your test. These are the things that will keep you safe. They could have chosen to ignore me, and then it's out of my hands. They chose to follow my direction and are, excellent driver now. So there's no concerns there, but it's off of me and my responsibility once I've positively and kindly confronted it. But I am giving the other person the opportunity to be challenged and grow and change. And so as you look at your organization, you probably have big goals for the year or the quarter. You probably have big projects. You probably have things that you have to accomplish in order to stay in business. But if you don't take the time to positively confront when things even feel a little bit off track, then things drift very quickly and you have cultural toxicity, or you have projects that will not hit deadline, or you don't uncover a broken process that maybe worked before, maybe didn't, but needs an update. And so it's our responsibility as leaders to positively confront people so that we can create excellence, so we can be on time, and so we can really help our teams grow and achieve the success that they need to achieve, and to really serve our clients as well, because positive confrontation applies across the board. It's not just internal. It's how we show up to clients and say, I have a concern about this, and here's why. And so I want to bring it to your attention, because if we continue on this path, we're not going to get the results we want. We won't be on time. We won't be excellent. So as you think about the past conflicts you've had or the confrontation you've had that hasn't been positive or productive, ask yourself, how could I have reframed that situation? And how could I have shown up with an intention of love for my heart and kindness while still being direct and clearly communicating about it? Because when you do that, you give the other person the opportunity to grow. And again, after you've positively and kindly, confronted things, it's not your responsibility how they react, but you've shown up and really served. So I hope that's useful to you. I'd love to hear your stories of how you've been able to positively confront things and really improve the excellence of the result. I'd also like to hear your stories of where it didn't go well, so that you can learn from those as well. So share those down in the comments below. Reach out for any help you need. I appreciate you taking time to tune in, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's episode.